Alright, hey, what's up guys? It's Trevor Destroyer again, and I have two things to talk about today, and that is an engineered weapon. It is the Scar H, and also an awesome vehicle to use on the ground, the M1 Abrams tank. I'm going to start off the commentary by talking about the Scar H, how to use it, and, its features about it, so here I go. Alright, the Scar H, really, I've never ever really played with anybody who uses the Scar H. I've only been killed probably at least, only about 50 times of the Scar H. 50 times is not really a lot for Battlefield 3, considering how many freaking deaths I have. I don't have a lot, but it's not really a widespread used gun, and I don't know. I just went to my battle log, and I even looked at it, I was like, I barely even use this weapon at all either, so what I did was I went back to my PlayStation 3 and I got the Scar H out, and in my honest opinion, the weapon's a good weapon, but it has a lot of recoil. It has mildly high damage and over an average rate of fire, offset by its high amount of recoil, which becomes a real problem at a distance. Therefore, burst fire is strongly, you guys want to do burst fire. You don't want to hold down the shooting button, because the recoil is just so high. It performs much like a PDW in close quarters combat, where the weapon will be able to kill multiple enemies in a choke point. When equipped with an optic, a bipod or foregrip to reduce recoil, and a suppressor, the Scar H, the weapon will be extremely flexible weapon that will be able to challenge assault rifles at medium range. So, you want to use it as a round burst and be in medium range. If you're at long range facing, KH-2002, which is my favorite weapon, or, one of those other good assault rifles, M4, you're pretty much, you're gonna die because, like I said, the recoil just sucks on the Scar H. I'm using the reflex scope. You need 10 kills for that, and I think I was using iron sights, but it wasn't in this video. I wasn't recording at the time, and I actually thought I did better with iron sights. I don't know why, just for some apparent reason. With foregrip, and you need 30 kills for foregrip. What else? The Scar H, like I said, it's really not a used weapon by a lot of people on Battlefield. But more people will probably find that. They're probably going to have an interest in for it, pretty soon. You guys probably got killed by, this is on my perspective because I barely get killed by anybody, but you could be a person, oh, you get killed by the Scar H plenty of times, but that's you, it's not me. The Scar H, I'd have to compare it to the UMP-45. It's not, you really don't have to burst fire the UMP, but you kind of do, because its recoil is not really that great. The suppressor will reduce it, but not by a lot. Yeah, they're kind of similar, except I think the UMP holds a larger mag. With the Scar H, it only holds 20 rounds, which really isn't a lot considering an assault rifle, but it's a medium range weapon, and if you're facing one-on-one somebody in medium range and you burst fire the Scar H, you would probably definitely win. I'm not saying that you're going to win, but you just gotta learn how to use burst fire weapons like that. It's not a burst fire weapon, but you're gonna have to use it like that. You can't just hold down the R1 button or the the Xbox button, which is I think R1 too. I don't know. I don't play Xbox 360. Yeah, it is. You unlock it in the engineer kit as the third unlockable item. I'm pretty sure back when I started working on my engineer kit, I unlocked it, and then I started using it. I know that for a fact, but I don't remember because I got Battlefield on the exact date it came out, but I don't remember it. And if I'm correct, I think when I went to the battle log to look at how many kills I had with it, I think I only had like 15 kills. Then I switched back to AK, and then I was just shooting and shooting and shooting and shooting and shooting. But the damage of the Scar H, it only does what, I think 30 to 20 damage. The maximum or the reload time is at least I think it's 2.75, 2.85. It's one of those. It's one of those. I think it's 2.85, and the rate of fire is 600 RPM, which, you know, that's not fast at all. It's not fast at all. It really isn't. I do kind of want to compare it also to the what is it, PDWR, but I just can't compare them because, you know, they're not comparable. Like the Scar H is comparable to the UP5 or UMP45. What am I saying? Yeah, like I said, there really isn't that much to know about the Scar H. You know, let's see. The range, you know, the range is about 600 meters. That's not really, you know, it's an assault rifle, but that's not really good for an assault rifle. Yeah, it's full automatic, semi-automatic, and yep, you unlock it in the engineer kit. So that's about it to talk about. That's about it for the Scar H. All right, let's talk about the awesome M1A2 Abrams for Battlefield 3. All right, the bad thing, the biggest con I would have to say about the M1 Abrams is the huge ventilation in the back. I mean, you know, if you have an RPG guy and he aims just at the back, you know, 9 out of 10 chances you're going to get disabled. You know, you're going to be at like 20%. I mean, the back of the M1 Abrams is just ridiculous compared to the T90. You know, the T90, especially if you're turning with the Abrams and you turn towards your back and your nozzle picks up because of the big butt of the tank that's in the back. And if there's someone in the back playing C4s, you can't do nothing, and then you're just freaking out. And you get out and you start playing C4s, or you don't play C4s. You know, you're getting out to check the guy who's playing C4s on it, and then he gets in the vehicle if he's smart enough, or he'll just run away and destroy the vehicle and possibly you. But that's just another big con. It just has a big butt, you know. When I'm in the T90, I don't find as many issues as I do in the Abrams, but the Abrams, you know, a lot of people say it has more armor. You know, I have not found that. You know, it doesn't. I get killed probably by T90 a lot of times when I'm in the M1 Abrams, and it's the same when I'm in T90. I destroy M1 Abrams tanks very easily. The loadout that I use for the T90 and the M1 Abrams, you know, it's both tanks, you know, it's going to be used for both. I use the guide shell, and, you know, I have the, what is it, the exhaust smoke, or the smoke, and, you know, what I tend to do first is, you know, when I see a tank, I don't immediately fire my single shot. I don't immediately fire that. I switch to my guide missile, and then I fire that, I lock on, and then I fire that, and then I just shoot with my shot. And then right there, boom, is a destroy, because you disable the vehicle with the guided shell, and it's pretty cool. You know, the T90 doesn't have that big butt as the Abrams. So when you're turning, if someone's playing C4s in the back, you don't have a problem. You know, if he's taking his time putting C4s on because he thinks that you won't kill him, and you know, you turn towards your rear end and you shoot the guy. Well, you have that, you know, angle for the T90. You have that angle. So pretty much it's just all degree flat angle for the T90. But for the Abrams, you really don't have that, because once you turn around, right there's that big butt for you, and then you just, like, I call it a big butt. I don't know why I call it. It's just there, you know. And then you just, someone's playing C4s, you got this big ventilation in the back, you know, especially for the M1 Abrams, this big ventilation. The RPGs are already doing enough damage, but if this guy's playing C4s, you know you're going to be dead. You know, you don't, if you're in a tank, you guys, listen, if you're in a tank, the last thing you want to do is get out. That is the last thing you want to do. You do not want to get out, especially if you're getting shot by RPG guys, because if you get out, chances are that RPG is going to kill you. But that tank is still going to be up. You know, it's going to be disabled. You know, it's going to be on fire and stuff like that. But you don't want to do that, because the guy who killed you with the RPG or small, he's going to start repairing that tank, and he's going to take your tank. And guess what? you just gave up, your ultimate ground vehicle, and you do not want that. You don't want to take a death. You don't want to, because that's everybody. They want to keep their KD up. They want to keep it up, but you have to die in your tank if you want. If you're playing by yourself, you totally don't give a shit. You can just be like, oh, I'm getting out. I'm running away. I don't give a shit. But for your team, if you're playing for you and your team, you have to die while you're still in the tank. You can't be selfish. You just can't be selfish like that. Just walk away like that. I'm saying to protect yourself. You have the right to protect yourself. But like I said, if they take your tank, especially if the guy's skilled, that's really, and you guys are winning. And guess what? This tank, the guy who took your tank, is at flags, and unless you're a support or engineer, or I'm pretty sure probably there's going to be at least a few people, a few guys in your squad or team that's going to be support or engineer, but they're not around the flag that you were at, and they're gonna, they're completely unaware of the situation of what happened, and you don't have a mic. A mic is really vital. You need a mic or headset. That's really vital in Battlefield. And then you're like, oh, or your teammates are like, oh, what the hell? But they don't know, and it's just you don't want that situation. Don't get out of the tank. Take that death. You need to take that death. Tanks are a vital, asset to ground forces. My clan multiple times, we will take our deaths. If we're playing against another clan and they destroy or they disable one of our tanks, 5 out of 5 chances there's going to be 3 of us in that tank, and 4 out of 5 chances is that 2 of us are going to be engineered, because we're gonna have to repair the tank. Then there's going to be the driver who's going to be shooting guys down, and the 2 of us are going to be repairing the tank, and that's really good when you want to repair stuff like that. I'd have to say, yeah, like the back area, if you're in laser designation, that's really nice. And I seen this guy at the last second. It was crazy, and right there I got killed by a stupid T90. Yeah, the back, yeah, he takes that tank down, no problem. Look how easy it is for a T90 to take an M1Abrams down. The M1Abrams just has too many openings, and it goes back to the subject of how does the M1Abrams has more armor than the T90? You're like, if you're in the M1Abrams and you get killed by T90, you're like, oh, what the hell? He took me down within a couple shots, and I totally feel bad for the guys that I destroyed. But yeah, like when I'm in the M1Abrams and I use the guided shell for a T90, it doesn't take, or it takes longer than it is when I use a T90 using guided shell. It just takes longer. Like I said, look at that. The T90 does not have a butt. That's what I call it, you guys. I don't know what else to call it. Or a rear end. I guess you could say that, rear end. It doesn't have that. And what the T90, it can spin all around in degrees, and without a problem. And if someone's playing C4s in the back, just slowly turn. But if that C4 guy is pretty skilled, he's gonna put C4s on, then you're gone. But the T90, I'm pretty sure, in everyone else's opinion, is a better tank than an M1Abrams. It's just, even maneuverability. I think that, on Caspian border, when I'm in the T90, I feel it has better maneuverability above, on the hills and stuff like that than the M1Abrams. Yeah, just the 2 tanks comparison, side by side. If you have 2 skilled players go side by side, I'd have to say 9 out of 10 chances is that T90 guy is going to win. If you just look at M1Abrams, it just has too many openings of which the T90 can find, Well, that concludes this commentary, you guys. Please rate, subscribe, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.